that I'm going to say is that it is not the business of obedience or Nigerians or anyone to be trusting ADC. It is the business of obedient every Nigerian to enter into ADC and make it work the way that they want it to work. Politics is not my business to be trusting anybody. You want thing to work, you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, that thing that I keep saying, nature abhors vacuum, I'm very serious about it. Others are going to put in, and if they put in the work, they can't put in the work and you tell them how to do it or not do it. So at this moment, it's a coalition. It is not a love affair. I've said this thing repeatedly, that politics is not a love affair. There are people that on a normal day, I do not want to sit down in the same room with them and breathe in the same oxygen, or we share the same oxygen. But I will be in the room now because we are at a place where we have a common goal that brings us together. I've been with people also that I've had to do protests with them, even people who saw us as enemies, people that we had fought with. Because at the moment, at that particular moment, it's about our common, our goal, which is for the betterment of Nigeria. So at this moment, it's about going in there, every Nigerian going in there that wants to see a new politics, a politics that works for everyone and not a politics that is for a few. Go into ADC and make it work the way you want to see it work. What are the things you're looking for? What's the candidate you want to see? What are the ideology that you want to see? What are the policies that you want to see? Go in there and put in the work and get it done. And that's the most important thing. We have to, put in that work. And at this moment, like I said to everyone, we did something. And in 2023, most of us stayed outside. We felt, oh no, we don't want to do politics. For me, and I will tell you something. You see that a national anthem that was changed into a Tinubu's anthem. I refuse to stand to it, since I think that thing was changed either 2023 or 2024. And I will sit down. And there were times where they called me and said they were going to arrest me. Oh, fine, please feel free if that's whatever you want to do. But a few days ago, I think that was on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Today is what? I think on Monday or Tuesday now. I can't remember. At the ADC secretariat, where we went to do a presentation, because I happen to be a member of the membership revalidation, mobilization and registration committee. I'm the deputy chairman of that committee, and I'm also the chairman, because they call it chairman and they don't do chairpersons over there, the chairperson of the online registration, which we are trying to put together and put it out. And so on that basis, when they played that particular anthem, I stood up, because I was there, which is something that, even though it really made me very angry, but like I've always said to people, and this is one of the reasons why I've refused all these years to be part of a political party or hold any position or whatever, because I love the freedom of myself to be able to use my mouth how I want to do whatever it is I want to do, without being accountable to anything or anyone. But here, as a member of a committee, at that moment, I'm not standing in there as Aisha Yesufu, as an individual. I'm standing in there as a deputy chair. And so these are some of the responsibility that being either a political party or holding a position puts on you. And I do understand a lot of people don't want to do that, but it gets to a moment where you ask yourself, the luxury that you have, are there many Nigerians that don't have that luxury? So even if it's not for yourself, for their own sake, can you put that aside and say, how do we get to fix this Nigeria? And I see a lot of questions that come from people in terms of the fact that, this ADC, the people that you fought for with all this while are the people who are there, and you've called them all sorts of either names, or you've had your back and forth with them. They've called you names, you've done that, you're in the same place with them. Like some will say, oh, but you said they are the structures of criminality and whatever and all of that. At this moment, being in that party is for you to hold your ground and ensure that the thing that I want to see in the way it's done right, that's what is going to happen in this ADC. And not on my watch is anything going to be done that is not within what is for the betterment of Nigeria. Irrespective, and if for people who know me, I've always said over time that I don't focus on what people's motives are. Whatever your motive is none of my business. But one thing that I know for sure is that when I am on something, you will not derail the goal that we have, the goal for working towards Nigeria. On my watch, it will not happen. And that's, for me, that's the thing I focus on. And I call on other people. So this is the time to get in there. It's not about whether you are trusting, you're not trusting, you love, you don't love, you like, you don't like. It's about getting in there and say, this is how we want this thing to be done. And we will pull the numbers to ensure that whether anybody likes it or not, this is how it gets done. Because at the end of the day, politics is all about the numbers, and the numbers within, whether it be within the party or outside of the party. What we've had over the years is that we stay on the outside, and these political parties just churn out whatever it is that they want us to have, and then we are not sitting down and choosing between the devil and the Red Sea. No, Nigerians have no business now choosing between the devil and the Red Sea, or the lesser evil. The business that Nigeria has now is choosing between the most competent and the most competent. And so we should be spoiled for choices in terms of people who have capacity to be able to run the country, not in terms of choosing between the devil and the Red Sea, or looking for the lesser evil. So I would say this is not the issue of trust. It's not a love affair. It's not that kind of relationship. It's a relationship of equals, of you coming in and ensuring that the thing that is done is what is most beneficial to Nigeria. That's the relationship we must have. And I must say to everyone, and this is the mentality I want for us, for those who are coming in together, whether you started politics today or somebody that started politics 40 years ago, it doesn't matter. Like, so somebody that said, look, the politics that, when sometimes you have people that want to rob you and tell you, they've been doing this for the last 40 years, and I'm like, where did it take Nigeria to? The politics you'll be doing is the politics that has been destroying Nigeria. So if you're coming in today, don't be intimidated. You're there, we're all party members, and anybody that has a sort of like a leadership role, it just gives added responsibility to that person. It doesn't make one any better than the other. Yes, from those who have been there before, you will get experience, and you also check and show you're getting the experience that will work for Nigeria, not the experience that has worked against Nigeria. And for those who are coming, they come with the innovation of finally getting Nigeria on track. Because staying out of politics, I tell you, like Pluto said, is one of the most foolish things that we have done. And the irony of it all is that the people who are destroying Nigeria, because they know that, they now come to you and make you feel I think it's a bit of reverse psychology, where they're telling you that you should be too good to be here. After all, you are too good to be here. They are the ones that are bad, that should continue to be doing the destruction. No, nobody should be too good to be in politics. If the only reason why you're staying out of politics is that you don't want your integrity to be what's the word I'm looking for now? You don't want your integrity to be found wanting, or you don't want your white to be stained. Then the question I will ask is that, do you really have integrity? Do you really have the white? If the only way that you are able to hold on to your integrity is by you not participating. So the thing that every integrity must be tested. Until and unless your integrity is tested and you pass through it, and you scale through unscarred, then there's no how you're saying that you have integrity. Until and unless you're able to pass through that mud, there's no how you're going to come and say, my white wasn't stained. But your white wasn't stained because you didn't even go through. Why don't you go through? You come out, your white isn't stained. Then you now have the bragging right to say, I passed through there, I did that, my white wasn't stained. For example, like everybody will say to you, everybody in politics is corrupt. But there's someone, for example, like a Mr. Peter Obi, that is able to say, hey, go and check all my state there. If you find anything, one thing, I will stop campaign, or I will no longer run for presidency. That's the bragging power. That's the bragging power.
Administration is not consistent. So that is why I asked that question. So if you can just tell us about the registration, what is really the problem? Because we've heard a lot of things that do not synchronize. So what is really the problem here?
Okay, so in terms of the registration, the web app is being worked on. and it will soon be out soonest. Hopefully by next week, we should have that up and running. A few bit of teething problems being worked upon to get it on. And when that website is open, it will be open for everyone. So you remember earlier I said that I was a member of the membership revalidation, mobilization and registration committee. So what this committee was set up, and the national committee was set up, and the state committees are being set up, and it's going to go on to the local government, and also what the party, the ADC, the African Democratic Congress, is trying to do is to first of all look at all the membership before this whole coalition and everything, the people who have registered revalidate their membership, and then also go on to register new people. So there was a particular website that was being used where people were registered. Yes, indeed, it was stopped for us to build this web app and get people registered in, and they're also getting new cards. They're sort of coded to states and getting them out there. So yes, the registration will start very soon with take off. So for those who have tried to register at this moment, it's not a deliberate. So this is the thing also. So when something happens, don't feel like, oh, it's deliberately being done to shortchange people. No, it's an every how do I put it now? It's something that it's across board. It's affecting everyone currently, but we're working seriously on getting that online registration out. And by the time it's out, I mean, it will be there for everyone to be able to register with. So that registration, will come up on time and go on. And I can tell you, for me, the committee is very committed, and also the national chairman and of course members of the NWC are quite committed to us having that online registration out there. Yeah, there are a bit of some who feel okay, the paper registration, the card, the manual registration, works easier, but that all is being sorted out, is being worked on to say they can go on hand in hand. At the same time, for those who are going to register manually, they go to the ward, they register, capture their details, but still brought on online. And then those who register directly online, at the end of the day, also their details get sent to the ward level. So definitely in no time, and then we embark on massive mobilization and getting people to register on it. So I would say to Nigerians, please don't be discouraged. I know a lot of people, there has been tremendous interest in registering on the ADC, joining the ADC, the African Democratic Congress, and in a very short time you would be able to do that seamlessly and get everyone on. And the way this works, of course, with online, with the online registration, we're used to hearing things where a lot of parties where there's a lot of gatekeeping and sometimes people not being allowed to register. That wouldn't be the case here, because hey, everybody can then be able to register from wherever they are online, and nobody will be gatekeeping anything.
All right. Thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you.
Naso, is it Naso? Well done. Good evening, everyone.
The same thing that majority of people will come up to ask Aisha anyways, but we're going to keep it moving.
We'll get. He says we should get a translator for Peter Obi.
As we continue this conversation.
Greetings. Hello.
So let me do this. Aisha, please. Let's say, for the sake of time, the moment it gets to say you have roughly 30 minutes left to spare, kindly let us know. That way, it will help us in coordinating the space better. We do understand it's been a busy day for you, and we appreciate you being here. That said, yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say okay.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, that said, I think the best thing to do now is we're going to take the questions, 3 questions in a row, to save time, to get because we have a lot of people waiting to ask you questions. And don't worry about, I'm taking notes, so I'm going to keep track of these questions. And then I think it's better that way. It helps with organizing the space. All right, so let's get started. Elvis will go first, followed by Abiodun, followed by, where is engineer Gabriel? It was in here. All right.
He's here.
All right, Elvis, please go ahead.
And thank you, Sister Aisha, Comrade Aisha, for what you do, actually, for being one of the holders of hope and working tirelessly, privately for the democratic development of Nigeria. And my question will border on P2B or nothing mantra. We are all very happy for the growing coalition between the Obedient Movement and the African Democratic Congress, ADC, which is something unique in Nigerian politics. But we also notice the ideological tension that it has brought, because for those of us who belong to the P2B or nothing faction of the Obedient Movement, we are also a reform-driven, motivated group of Nigerians who do not just want to go into a coalition for the old political way of going in, that is to negotiate to get power, share offices and resources. We are going into what we represent when we say P2P or nothing is we're going in there to make change, and we believe that we have the best candidate who has all it takes to be able to mobilize Nigerians, give them trust, and make them come out in their millions to cast their vote. And it also relates to what we are seeing with the electoral lack of electoral reforms, because the only way where we can go ahead, even without this transmission, to win power and retire the bandits in power, is that if we can bring out Nigerians in their millions to vote and do what they did in Lagos, in the Federal Capital Territory, and in Abia State, because we know that in Lagos we were able to fight back against thugs and we were able to win. So I would like us to hear, what is your stand on Obi or nothing? Where is your own red line? And are you still standing on what you're saying, that you will not support anything where Obi is meant not to be the ticket holder? I don't know if I'm just paraphrasing. So what is the message there, please?
All right, thank you. Second question from, I believe I said Abiodun. Abiodun, please go ahead. Abiodun, are you there? Okay, great.
Yes, sir. I think the gentleman that just asked that question, took straight out from my mouth, so I have nothing else to say. Thank you. Please, it will be or nothing. That was the question I wanted to ask.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, great. So let's go to Engineer. Engineer Ikango, go ahead with your question.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mama Aisha, good evening, ma. My name is Engineer Ikango Gabriel, known as Peter Bilasbon. We met today. Yeah, I don't know if you can remember Peter Bilasbon. All right. My question is, my first question was about what the court actually asked. If there was not, if there's not electoral reform, should we still vote? Which you have answered. Okay. My other question is, which medium do the party actually apply to use to unify the, let me say specifically, the Obedient Movement and the other camp? Because our principal is in the coalition at the moment.
Can you come again? I didn't get to do what? Which medium to do what?
To unify all of the different groups in the coalition. Keep going, Engineer.
Yes, which medium are the party trying to use to unify instead of trying to talk down on the other faction or the other group? Because everybody has his own interest. Let's not lie to ourselves. We all have our own interest. But we see now that some people that we call our leader in the coalition are actually trying to divide and to be biased and to speak against some people in the coalition and to insult some people in the coalition, which is not fair enough. And also, because of time, my last question is, please, can I know why the other leaders of the coalition are not showing interest in the Abuja upcoming election? Because from what we can see, all of us, it's clear to our eye that it's only Peter Obi that's actually showing interest, working around, doing all the grassroots work and everything we can see at the moment to our eye. So why are the other people in the coalition not actually supporting the Abuja election, knowing how important Abuja election is to us?
So let's recap. The first question is
I have the question.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And the second
Thank
one,
you.
AMAC elections, unification. Yes, thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll start with Mr. Evers, who talked about, on the issue of Peter Obi or nothing. I really don't see why anybody has any problem with when people say Peter Obi or nothing. It's all about, like the last speaker, Peter Obi's last born. Yeah, I remember we spoke. You came over and introduced yourself, and I do remember that. Well done for today's, protest that we all did. So when people say Peter Obi or nothing, it's about them saying, hey, I have a candidate, and this is a candidate that I want, and I am for this candidate. And remember what I said earlier, politics is about numbers, and it's now left for the party to be able to sit down and say, oh, hey, what is this? What are the numbers? There are different candidates though. And one of the things is that ADC must decide on its own to say, does ADC want to win the 2027 election, or does ADC want to participate in the 2027 election? So whatever that question is there for you to look and say, who is a candidate that if we have this candidate, we go on to motivate Nigerians to be able to come out, to motivate Nigerians to come out wherever they are, to not to just come out and put themselves on the line, to put their lives on the line and say we are standing because we believe in this particular person. And also it is for the party also to be realistic and also be pragmatic, because first of all, the ADC to which I belong to does not have the capacity currently to outspend, the APC that is currently occupying office illegitimately, and that is my own personal stance, and that's not the stand of ADC. And so because it has the coffers of the country at hand, all of this, first of all, we've seen subsidy has been removed. By removing subsidy, it took away monies from the hands of people and put it in their hands for them to do whatever it is that they're doing. We've seen the tax that has been passed fraudulently in a way where monies are being taxed anyhow. We saw, what we were told that, people's monies cannot be taken away from bank, and we saw a circular that was brought out by the Lagos state government, right? And so in this, what it then means that it puts more money in their hands to be able to do a lot of things. And we've also seen all manner of contracts that have been given from the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. I think that is going to be currently the highest contract that has been given, amount in terms of money, if I'm not mistaken, that has been given in Nigeria. We've seen a lot of cases where you are seeing 20-something billion being used to renovate some things, and a whole lot of that. So they have money. So in terms of this monies, and they have the coffers of the nation that they use anyhow, they've been using that recklessly. There's no how they're going to be able to spend them. So what then the party will be looking at is, who is it that can add passion? And that's where the party needs to now come out and say, okay, who amongst the candidates that they feel will be able to carry on? Because this was the same thing that was done with PDP. It's about being, being pragmatic. So I, for me, don't see, if some people have that hold, there are some people that will say that, you shouldn't have those views because as a party member this. But the thing is that most of the people who are saying this are not party members. we hope to get them to be party members anyways, but they are not your party members. They are average Nigerians who are saying to you, this is the person that we want, and if you don't give us this person, then we are not interested in the election at all. We'll go and sleep. That's the message that is being passed. And what the ADC should be doing, what we should be doing, is listening and gauging and checking and say, okay, are the people who are saying it's Obi or nothing, or that's the only reason where they come, what's their number? Is it critical enough? Is it a critical number that we cannot ignore? Or is it a number that we can ignore, that we can move on and say that, oh, okay, no problem, even they say OB or nothing, it doesn't matter, let's go on? Or is it something, or is it that I'm sure the party will not want to find out the way PDP found out how effective, how that was. Because I remember when, even though it was not said in the words that it was said, but that was the message that a lot of people were passing to PDP in 2022, to the extent that people came out and did a protest to PDP and said to PDP, give us this particular, candidate. And when PDP did not give them that candidate, they just simply moved on to another place, and that's where you had the Labour coming in. So for me, I don't think the way it's being vilified, the way it's being talked about and all of that, that's not the way that you should go into it. What should be done, and what everyone and even the party should be doing, is going out there and checking what is data saying. What are the polls? This is where you do polling. You understand? Election is also scientific. You do the polls, you check the data, you talk to people and find out, is it a few people who are just shouting in a room? You remember 2022 when they say 4 people tweeting in a room? Is it just the same 4 people that are still tweeting in a room? Have those 4 people reduced? Or is it just a few, cacophony of noise that we are hearing, but there's nothing germane about it? I think for me, those are the things that should be looked into. But instead of vilifying people and getting angry because some people have said that, oh, is OB or nothing, or they've said they have a right to say it. They're just giving feedback. And if the feedback you feel is important enough, is something that is useful, that should be, then take that feedback. If you feel that it's not something that is useful, it's something that should be ignored, then ignore it. But you cannot vilify people for expressing to you what their interest is. For me, I think this is something that people that the party should welcome, in the way of listening and say, okay, this is the feedback, because this is feedback they are giving to us. But like I said, it now depends on, check it out and see, is there something attached to that, or is there that sort of like noise that is being made and there's nothing attached to it. So for me, that's what I will look at it, instead of trying to vilify the people who have this particular thing. Because at the end of the day, leadership is about listening to the people. Politics is about listening to the people. One of the things that Nigerian political parties have to start doing is listening to the people. All this while, because a lot of and the only way they can listen to the people is when people participate in the political activities that are going on. Over the years, because people have never cared, so they don't listen. So political parties always come with a sense of arrogance. Oh, we're going to give them whatever we're going to give them. They will have to choose. But Nigerians have gotten to a place where they are saying they don't want to choose between the lesser evil. And so they are saying to you, this is what we want. So listen, there are people who are saying OB or nothing. There are people who are probably saying this or that. Listen and check everything and find out who is the person that is best out there. I would say on the question that is thrown at me, and for repeatedly the question I've said, let's get there and see it. But one thing that I will assure everyone is that, one, I am not, and I've said it, I am not voting for a running mate. When I'm making my choice as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and as also a member of a political party, is that I am making my choice based on who is going to be the flag bearer. I'm not making my choice based on who is going to be running mate. In 2015, I voted based on running mate. And this is a running mate that was to a person who never does the work but always delegates. And when a running mate came in that I felt who had started campaigns even before, and I'm talking about Professor Yemi Osibanjo, that's who I voted for. I never voted for Buhari. I never had anything. I said, there's no way, I'm voting for that person. There's no way he's getting the votes of Nigeria, after 2011 and everything that happened after that. But based on the things that were happening in Nigeria, and I saw another person who had come in, and this Professor Osibanjo in December 2014 has started campaigns, was doing common sense revolution, town halls, meeting people in buses, going to people's houses, which was at that time not something that was that was very common. And it was innovative. I'm seeing the things he had done. Okay, We might have a chance here, knowing fully well that this person, Buhari, doesn't do the work. He always delegate. He did delegate, but unfortunately, he didn't delegate to Professor Yemi Osinbajo the way we would have had it, and everything just went haywire. And so for me, coming down to 11 years after that, I'm not going to be making decision based on who is running mate. I'm making decision based on, who is going to be the flag bearer, and I want the most competent person, to be out there. And so for me, that's the stance on that. Coming down to Mr. Abiodun, I just want to say thank you for the fact that, which is very uncommon. Your question was asked, the question you wanted to ask, and you didn't go on to now start elaborating. You just went straight to the point. I really, really appreciate that. Engineer Gabriel, that talked about
AMAC elections,
yes,
and how to unify the coalition, all the interests in the coalition.
Yeah. Thank you. And so he talked about unifying the medium to be able to unify. I don't think I don't think there is a particular I don't know. So maybe that's what I would say. I don't know whether there's a particular medium in unifying. What I think also, it now comes also onto the members themselves to focus on the common goal. It's not on each other. Whatever it is that you brought in, that you had coming in, that's not where the situation is now. I mean, I today I was in protest with people that maybe just some months ago, 2 years ago, whatever, they will attack me on social media and all of that. We were all working together because our interests aligns, right? And that goes. But what I would say is that it is not one of the things that I would say, I don't know whether that now comes out as a medium of unification, is to say that, leaders should be cautioned in talking down on people's candidates, because I've seen that. Like when I did an interview, someone was saying to me, "Oh, Aisha, but this interview," because they asked me, I said in my interview, I said, "It's Peter Obi," or I think she was asking me, "Is it Peter Obi or nothing?" I said, "It's Peter Obi or Peter Obi." That's my own stance. And they were like, "Oh, but I said to them, but I didn't abuse anybody's candidate. I didn't attack anybody's candidate. I didn't vilify anybody's candidate. I didn't speak down on anybody's candidate. I've had my candidate, people speaking down on him, people saying all sorts of things. Like the other day, I saw a tweet that someone did, and it was like, "Oh, yes, do you expect," I'm not going to mention the candidates, but he said, "Oh, do you expect his own candidate to go out and be, campaigning for FCT election, that they are too big, that, Peter Obi is his boy, and Peter Obi should go and do it." That's speaking down on a candidate. That's someone speaking down on my candidate. That I have. And in political parties, really, everybody has a candidate. There's no this thing. There shouldn't be any hypocrisy about it. It's at the end of the day when primaries are done and everything, and then people now say, "Okay, let them come together and do one thing or the other." So everybody has their own candidate. For like I said to them, I'm not speaking down on your candidate, but I think one of the things that needs to happen is that people should be cautioned, especially party members or especially the leaders, where they're speaking down on a candidate, coming out to say, "Oh, this person cannot do this, that person, oh, he doesn't have the this to do this, he's not the that should be stopped." And I think that would be a medium that will really help. But I think most importantly for me, I think would be on getting the best way to unify the party would be to find those common goals and people working towards it. Like today, the ADC youth, amongst with other civil other organizations, coming together and doing the march that we saw earlier today. There were people from different camps, right? Those who support different candidates. And there was one that was even saying to me, he was like, "Oh, Aisha, we wish you were on our own side." And I looked at him, I was like, no, he said, "Oh, Aisha, we love you." And I said, "Oh, you people don't love me. People are always coming at me." He said, "No, even though, yes, but that we wish you were on our own side, not, this thing." But that was us. We had that battle. But when we went out to march, we were not marching as in, "Oh, this one is obedient, this one is this, that one is that." No, we were marching as, "Oh, citizens who have a common problem, and we need to solve that problem. We are all ADC members and other people coming in, and that's how we march down. So I think one of the things is to bring up, there are so many issues in Nigeria that are being is destroying Nigeria, that is being caused by the APC, that are illegitimately in power, that you can focus on, that we end up unifying you, because you're unified on a common purpose as you go on, that at the end of the day, removes all of this squabbling that happens. But at the same time, I think that, like I said in the first question I was answering, nobody should be looked upon as because you said your stance, and then, oh, you shouldn't speak in that way, you shouldn't say this one or nothing. I mean, that's feedback to you. Take it and work with it and do the needful with it. On the question of why are the other leaders in the coalition not showing interest in AMAC, well, that's a question that we will have to ask them, because I seriously do not know why. Let me say to everyone that the FCT election that is coming up February 21st is something that every Nigerian who knows that the current illegitimate government we have at the federal level, APC, the way they have failed the nation, people need to come out. We need to make it our business. It's not even just because you are in AMAC, or sorry, just because you are in FCT or you are not in FCT. We have candidates. Dr. Mo is the candidate in AMAC. You have Josiah Musa in Buhari. We have, I think, there's a medical doctor in Abaji, Bandoji in Kwali. You have Stephen in Kuje. I think Stephen is Kuje. And then Gwagwalada, you have Iko, who is a pharmacist. The other one is also Dr. Stephen. There are candidates that are out there, and a lot of them in the councillorship. This is the time, for citizens to come out and show that whole thing where some people think that they are going to bring the nonsense that they do in Port Harcourt down to Abuja, that we're not going to allow it happen. In Abuja are not walkover people, and it is important for citizens to come out on that day and for them to vote. And so it's not just everyone, it's a very critical election, for ADC, because this is how ADC will show to every Nigerian that they mean business. We mean business, and we're not going to be walked over, and we're going to put everything in. This is not a place where you're going to come and rig. Like we said, I personally have said anybody that rigs election should be treated, as a terrorist. And shame on them. They rigged us in 2023. It will be shame on us as they rig us in 2027. And that 2027 starts with the 2026 FCT election. FCT is like a microcosm of Nigeria, and this is the time for us to show our preparedness. So it's not just the leaders, every a citizen in Nigeria that wants to see, good governance in Nigeria should really be interested and contribute as much as they can to the FCT election. But on the question is why they are not taking it serious, I think they will be the ones to answer that question. But it's just that it's quite, if at the end of the day, hopefully they do come in, it's better late than never. It will be quite unfortunate if at the end of the day, the
Mobilization and Registration Committee of our party, the ADC. Now, many Nigerians, especially those inspired by the recent momentum in ADC, are eager to join but want clarity on the process. Could you please update us on the current status of the nationwide membership registration and revalidation exercise? How can interested citizens, including those registering for the first time, participate easily via the online platform and physical centers? And most importantly, are party cards now widely available? Also, what specific strategy is your committee rolling out to mobilize, galvanize, and bring more grassroots members, youths, women, and diaspora Nigerians into the party ahead of 2027? On protection of our votes, what is the action plan put in place?
Wow.
Your guidance would help us a lot to take the right steps to support ADC's growth.
All right.
Again, I sincerely thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Chidi. Wow, that is loaded. Well, thank you very much, Aisha. Hold on a second. Let me take two more. Great question, Chidi. Great one. Thank you. Ola Best, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, Madam Aisha. We really appreciate your work, most especially the protest today. We pray that it will yield the expected results. Now, I have three questions. The first one is about that registration. You've talked about it. I just want to ask about the specific time when the portal will be open for registration. So that's number one. Then number two is about the party finance. So are they planning to finance it through politicians or through the party members? Because we have seen a situation where one of the politicians is now buying vehicle for a state party chairman. So we don't want someone that will now weaken our party later and say, oh, I brought up this party and I bring it down. Then the third one is that, is there an option of consensus candidates? So those are my questions.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Ola Best. Let us take Nehemiah. Nehemiah, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Chudo. Good evening. Good evening, everybody on the space, and good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're spacing from. I think the major question I wanted to ask, somebody, Chidi, has really asked that question. My issues is when exactly can I, have the privilege to log in from my devices, to start mobilizing people to register. We need a timeline, a defined timeline, so that we can get ready for this thing.
Awesome.
And if we register online, how do we get our membership cards and everything? Is the physical and the online going to be harmonized that way, and the rest of them? Thank you.
That word again, harmonized. All right. So Aisha, what I'm going to do is that, since the question is the same as what I've been asked before, I can go over those three questions. I have one question here that's been asked of me that they want me to ask you. In the coalition, we have seen other candidates, we know them, so I won't necessarily mention their names, that they are making moves in terms of organizing, building alliances. In fact, let me read it out. Looking at the current political climate, many actors in the coalition are making visible moves, while the same level of activity is not seen from PO. This has created a lot of talk that he is not reaching out enough and therefore does not deserve the ticket. What is your response to this narrative? Is PO truly not doing enough outreach, or is this just noise from other parties? So that is going to be the third question. So question one is bothering about membership, registration, timeline, validation, all of those things, party cards, strategies for mobilization. Question two, timeline for opening the portal, financing, consensus candidate. And the third question was the one about PO and engagement that I just asked you. Please go ahead, Aisha. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. I think is it Chidim that
Aisha,
started?
Oh.
Yeah, yes, I'm here. I was muted. I didn't know I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. I think it's is it Chidim? Is that the name, Madam Chidim?
Yeah, Chidi was the first
Okay,
person.
Chidi.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it started from there where she talked about clarity on the process to join. So the clarity is that the MRMR committee that I belong to, that I'm the deputy chair, is working on getting a web app, available for registration where people can register seamlessly. It's being worked upon. The website is literally built. There are just a few things that need to be imputed into it. We're working really seriously to get it done. And when that happens, people are able to register directly from wherever they are. And yes, on the issue of a particular date, I wish I could give you the date exactly, but hopefully we're hoping, by next week. I know it's not definitive enough, but that's what we're hoping to have it out there. If the vendor, what do they call, developer, was quite here, I might have asked, for a particular day. Though they've given us, they have done a bit of their work. We're just trying to incorporate one or two things into it that we need certain things to be done on, and that's what we want to have on it. But we are looking at next week when we'll do the grand opening for people to then be able to register on their own. Party cards, yes, there are party cards there have been, there have been, that were worked on even before our committee came on. But the thing about the online registration, which even when you register physically, we still want you will have to still be uploaded, online, for there to be one big online register that covers all the members. These are some of the things that are being worked on. So there are party cards, though they've not sent them all to the different states, except for some states, like I think, is it Oshun, Ekiti, because they have elections coming up. So theirs were sent to them earlier, and I think Katsina. These are the states that already have some of these cards out there. But the cards are being will also, by either that next week, by next week, yeah, they're also getting the cards, because we are having the MRMR committee, just to explain, is going to be not just at the national level, it's going to be at the national level, state level, local government level, ward level, and we're also looking at probably polling unit level. So you're having, in terms of these cards, being given to them, they're coming in by next week for there to be inauguration, and by then the cards will also be available for people to be able to register, directly, manually. Yes, there's going to be harmonization. For every registration that is done manually, it's also uploaded onto the online platform for it to also be captured there. In terms of what are the mobilization strategy, like I just mentioned earlier, just a few moments ago, you have the MRMR, which is the Membership Revalidation, Mobilization and Registration Committee, being at the state level, at the state level, local government level, ward level, and going further than, hopefully, to the polling unit level. That's still being discussed. And then there are also, strategies in terms of reaching out to people through, there's going to be awareness creation, using social media, getting, talking about the jingles, radio content, creators would also, be used in terms of this, and some, and many varied other ways that they do. There's a subcommittee that has been set up, which is the mobilization committee, and they're coming up with a lot of strategies on the things that are going to be done to get people in terms of protection of our votes. One of them, of course, is this whole issue of getting the real-time electronic transmission of results. I see people who are, sort of like denigrating, like, oh, it's still the same picture they are going to snap. No, we're asking for real time. If so party got 20, so party got 30, let it be imputed directly, instead of waiting to take papers to collation centers where they are being used. So that's one of the things. And you saw the party, today, especially the youth leader, the deputy publicity secretary, and all that, organizing the FCT ADC chairman was also on hand, with other, associations coming together to organize the rally, or should I call it a protest, that you saw today to the National Assembly. So this is also one of the measures, being put in place. I don't know whether it's in my place to discuss all the strategies that are out there on the issue of protecting the votes, or whether this is the medium for that to be done. But I can tell you that, protection of votes is one of the things that is really paramount in the minds of the party, in ensuring that, citizens don't vote and leave. And also, it's also on us also as citizens to ensure that we do the needful in not only voting, but making sure that the votes that we did are being given to the candidates, that we voted for. On the issue of specific time, like I did say earlier, I'm coming to the question of Ola Best. I can't give you a specific day, but we're looking at next week. It will be out there. I don't want to give a date that I'm not able to stand on it. But next week is something that we're really looking for out to, and ensuring that it comes. And we also want it to come out as quickly as possible, because there's so many calls. We are being inundated with calls from people, and it's really heartwarming to see people who actually want to join the party. But I will say that everything is being done to make it very seamless, and make it available to everyone for them to be able to join. And you not have the situation like you have in where some people are gatekeeping membership. That's not going to be allowed to happen with the ADC. In terms of party finances, whether it's through politicians or members, one of the things that the party is very big on, especially I've seen the national chairman in the discussions that we've had with him and the NWC, hammering on that. We spend like 3 hours literally working out ways that nobody is going to hijack the party, in terms of, sometimes, this membership, one person will buy up cards and hold on to them or do things like that. These are things that there are so many things being done to mitigate against that and prevent that, because the party does not want a situation whereby one person owns the party. It wants a situation where, members own the party. And the way it is, I'm very fond of that saying that nature abhors vacuum. If the people do not come out and also contribute, either donate, if there are times that the party is asking for donations, contributions or fundraising, they do that. And if enough people don't register and pay the little token of registration and membership fee, then there's going to be a lag. Most times people just think, oh, what's the essence of paying membership fee? We don't want to do that. I've seen people who have said, oh, APC out there, they are registering for free and all of that. Well, they can afford to register for free, because they have their hands in certain places where they can get the money, and some people are holding on to it. But what we want is ownership, and the ADC has really been big on, let there be ownership by the people, so that no one person has undue advantage in terms of it. So yes, it's not relying just on politicians, but at the same time, politicians currently, as we wait for this thing, everybody having to chip in a little bit of what they have. The leaders are having to chip out to be able to help out with, and it's fundraising that they usually if at some cases they've had, because there are some expenses that has been incurred in the course of the party itself being on. But ultimately, the party wants the membership to be the owners of the party, and so that's where the whole issue of the membership registration it's very important. Is there an option? So there's also the question from Ola Best, where he said, is there an option for of consensus candidate? So I would say that the ADC is currently working on a new constitution. So depending if the new constitution is accepted, don't know what the legal term is that they use. I don't know what is coming from there. But the current constitution that the ADC has, yes, there is room for consensus. There's an option of consensus. And if you check, for anybody that has the ADC constitution, if you go to the third schedule, where they talk about guidelines for conduct of primaries, in the third paragraph, you will see where it says the National Executive Committee shall decide on whether to adopt the direct, indirect primary, or consensus. So yes, consensus is part of the ADC constitution as it stands today. But like I did say earlier, a new constitution is being worked on. There is a committee set up for the constitution review. So I don't know what that constitution will come out if it's adopted. But as it is today, yes, there is consensus candidacy in the ADC. And then Nehemiah is talking about if you register online, how do you get a card? Okay, yeah. So on the issue of registering online and how do you get a card, so part of the things that our committee is also looking at is to say, okay, how do we get people, to be able to register? And that's where on the online registration, you register, you put in everything, a card is produced for you, which you can either keep, as an e-copy, or you decide to print it, you laminate it. It's actually a cute, beautiful card. Looks almost like your PVC, and that someone can have. So that's a card that also has its number, a unique number, to everyone. And so with the physical card also, is someone that's what someone where you can then go down and get that. But that card is enough for everything. And even for those who get the physical cards, like I said, which had been put together, we also want to have them online, and they get, their card from online, and they have it. And so the card, at the end of the day, remember, we're going to have an online register that is going to be used by the party. Coming to the last question that was asked on the issue that, other candidates are making moves, and that Mr. Peter Obi is not doing anything. The way it is when you see someone who has been doing a lot over time, you then begin not to see, you then begin to see it as normal. So it's like a child who goes to school every time. They are always getting, first, first, first. When they come first, it's normal. But when you see a child who probably is at the bottom of the class, all of a sudden they do something and they get like, 15th position or mid position, it begins to look like, oh, hey, a whole lot is being done. I would say to you, from 2023, and I think other than maybe, let me say, either 2 or 3 days after the announcement, the midnight, announcement by INEC of the 2023 election, Mr. Peter Obi has been out there. Mr. Peter Obi has been doing a lot, working across, the country, forming, reassuring old alliances, forming, new alliances, and even people, like you see a lot of people. Let me just give an example, and I'm not going to mention any name, but it's someone that very well, from the north central part of the country, who we're having a conversation yesterday, and he was telling me that, oh, this is a conversation he had with Mr. Peter Obi, and part of him was like, this AMAC, this FCT election, the whole thing that he's doing, it has really shown him how, what a leader should be in terms of, standing with uh, these young people who are running for office, and not just letting them be on their own. And so, even though that's not the intention of Mr. Peter Obi, for him it's about going out there and just helping. He doesn't want this young people to be alone, and he just want to be there for them, putting whatever he can. But some people are seeing that already and say, oh, wow, this is, it's making a difference. And I can tell you, across Nigeria, especially the northern part of the country, you're seeing more and more, people who are getting into that place of supporting Mr. Peter Obi. A lot of them tell, oh, we were lied to. That's what they keep saying. I've heard that several times, where they're like, oh, the kind of things that they were told, they've seen it's not it. So I would say to you, he has been doing a lot, but because you're so overwhelmed with how much he has done, and that, people are now getting in, people are getting into what he has been doing for a long time, that now looks normal to us because they are just starting it, and then people are saying it as something that is new out there. But this is something I'm going to share, here, to say there was a particular election recently that was done, that for me, my advice to Mr. Peter Obi was that, look, this election is not, there's really nothing, it's not going to go anywhere. So my advice was, I said to him, sir, just stay out of this election, just let it be. And his response to me was that, he had given his words. And so, because he has given his words that he was going to be part of it, no matter what, even knowing that even if the person, it's not about the person winning, it's about him. He has given his word and he's going to give his support. And he went on, to do that, to support, the candidate, and went all out, even though, yeah, it still turned out the way that I thought it was going to be. But that tells you what integrity is about. It's not how well you look, how nice you look. It's about the fact that you've given your words and you are insisting on doing the right thing. So I think for those who say they are not seeing, they should look again and see what is it that this new people, what it is that they're doing now is something that probably he had done and dusted for a long time. But I can tell you that he is absolutely not just making, you know, the most. But why do you think when some people say Peter Obi or nothing, it grates on nerves? Ordinarily, it wouldn't, right? Because at the end of the day, from since uh, last year, since after the election, there's no conversation. Everybody knows this is where it's gearing to, and that there's no conversation where at the helms of it all, it's not Mr. Peter Obi that is there, and he also hasn't relented on that. He also has been out there, doing the things that are needed. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Aisha. Let me take
Oh,
a while and
everyone,
go
sorry, they
through
just took light. So light
our
no deal.
housekeeping
Walai.
items before
Our
we
this thing
move to
got
the next set
burnt.
of
Our
questions.
so it was
Aisha,
generator
one
that
more
was
time, I
on.
want to thank you
They've
for
just
your
taken
time
the
today and so far. And
generator
please
away.
allow me to say this. This is not me patronizing you. I think it has been very refreshing listening to you. I think if I were to do a quick poll on this space today, almost everybody on this space will agree with me. Compared to some other people's names we shall not mention. So, anyways, look, thank you so much.
Make Madam tell us when she declare for Senate. Make we begin contributing.
Una no serious. So me, I don't get money. I don't get money where I go pay to serve. Now one put me for this. Me, I go to carry money.
Sponsor you. Now we go sponsor you.
Aisha, rumor has it that you're on your way to Nassau, so I don't know what they talk.
So me, I don't know. I don't know where that rumor is coming from. But one thing that honestly, so on this question, because a lot, even the other day, honestly, I was ambushed. I was just going in, and I'm seeing they have this what do you call it? Is it poster flyer? No, not flyer. What's the banner? I'm like, oh no, Aisha come around for Senate and all of that. And I'm see, this is the thing, right? And I'm going to say it here because I've said it to a lot of people, and I'm going to say it here. I tell people, myself and my husband, we are first generation wealth builders. That means we come from poor backgrounds. I came from a place where growing up, even to feed was not something that was readily available. There were days that we went without food, and over time we focused and we've able to build wealth. It's taken so much. We've built, and I tell people the reason why you can see me talk the way I talk. I don't send anybody papa because I know I'm financially independent. I'm not going to go and meet anybody for a job or a contract or anything. I mean, of all the rumors that people have spoken about, whatever it is they have said, there is no one place where they're going to say, Aisha Yesufu, there were some grants that were given to me to do my advocacy or anything. Even the small NGO that I have is my money that I use on it. It's not because of lack of opportunities. I've had people like, oh Aisha, you can get millions of grants, that you can use to do this. And for me, for people who do it, it's amazing because you then are able to reach a lot of people. But I always say I own my mouth. I love to use my mouth the way it is. I don't want anybody to do any of this. Even until recently, even when I go out to visit people or do talk, whatever, I used to use my money until it got to a place like, why are you using your voice, your money, and everything? I'm like, okay, the bills have to be paid for. If I'm coming to speak at a particular place, instead of me, like I used to do for pay for my airfare and everything, I'll do that. Why am I saying this? Politics is very expensive. it is, and as long as Nigerians are not the ones we are not sponsoring people to go in there, we are not going to get anything. I would never want to run for office, and these things are quite expensive. You're talking about 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 10 billion for politics. Now more money, now small money. You're talking about quite a number of this thing, and if I spend that money, I'm like, spend that money to come and serve people, then it becomes business. Yes, it's not, I'm not going to take that money and then go and use it to run, because when I do that, then I will not be looking for how to recoup that money. That's why you see these senators, they cannot talk inside their red chambers. They are coming out to do press conferences with us, or their green chambers or whatever, because you don't want to lose certain things because you spent so much and you need to recoup it, or whether the constituency. I'm not saying they are being corrupt or anything, but certain things will then matter to you. So for me, honestly, I'm not gonna spend of my hard-earned money to put it at a place where I'm using it to go and run for office to serve. No. But I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm like, okay, before I'm like, no, no, even the service I don't want to do it, because I just love to do my own thing, do what I want to do when I want to do it and how I want to do it. That's what I usually say. But now I'm a place where, yes, it's possible I can serve, but what I can tell everyone is that I am not ready to pay to serve. So all that way they look for money wey person wan earn, no be me. I would rather be here so that I don't go and reach there now. When they are buying car, you can't say no because you spend so much and you want to recoup money,
I know, right?
when they are doing one thing or the other. So that's just it. That's just it.
Well said. Thank you, Aisha. All right, real quick, guys. This space today, let me pay some bills, has been brought to you by the Obedient Movement in the Diaspora. All right. So, if you are here and Obedient in the Diaspora, and you would like to know more about the movement, I'm talking about Canada, the United States, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, and others. Please direct all inquiries to Holiday.
Because I have to write the
Space
questions.
right
I've
here
just
in
put on my
Zoom.
this thing.
Send him a DM and
Hi
answer your
everyone. Like
question
no
and
deal.
join and every other thing.
Naija
In
wahala.
the meantime, thank you all for joining the space. We are still here. Aisha, I really want to thank you for being forthright with us, for your candor, for just everything so far. Your response to our questions has been really, really indeed refreshing. Let me say this before I go to the next question. There's a trust deficit in the coalition, and the way and manner with which they have moved, it shows that they're not even trying too hard to beat the allegation. One example I'm going to give you and everyone on this space is the recent policy framing committee that was set up, where we were seeing that people are coming in and saying their consent was not sought, they were not informed before they were shortlisted, and all those things. And then when the spokesperson came out, the spokesman himself came out to explain that situation with the lady, you could see the way he dealt with it. It was a spin job. There was no sense of accountability. There was no sense of responsibility. Even if an error has been made in judgment, at least this is the kind of thing you said on this space, that it is time for Nigerian political elites to respect Nigerians, right? That's all we're asking for. Respect us. Now, what happened was that you, Aisha, went out there and personally apologized. You personally apologized to the lady. So, come on, man. These are the kind of things that we are saying. It is time for us to be serious in this country if we really want to move our nation in the right direction. I mean, I just want to put that out there. That said, let's go straight to the next set of questions. While we still have Aisha here, the first person I'm going to call will be Prince Ella, Kolade, and let me take Malam Eze. No, sorry, Chris. So Prince Ella, Kolade, Chris, in that order. Hold on. Elvis, did you want to chime in something real quick? I see you have your hand up. Elvis, are you there? Okay. All right. So Prince Ella, Kolade, and Chris, in that order. Prince Ella, please go ahead.
Yeah. Good day, everyone, wherever you're spacing from. And good evening, Mrs. Aisha. Thank you for your selfless service. to Nigeria. So my question is in two, right? Two questions. The first question is about PVC, mobilization and registration. What's ADC's strategy and action plan as regards galvanizing Nigerians, especially those within the ages, 18 and above, on getting their PVC, on registering and getting their PVC? And three. The second one, for those that have registered for this PVC, what is ADC's plan in supporting some of those individuals in order for them to get their PVCs? Why I'm asking this question is last election, we saw cases where PVCs were thrown in the gutters. Some of these INEC officials were deliberate in not giving out PVCs to people. So what is ADC's plan as regards that? Then my last question is, now, the ruling party, APC, have been going around states from Enugu to Kaduna to Sokoto, now getting people's PVC details and getting their numbers and all that ahead of the elections. And this is obviously rigging, right? What is ADC doing about it to mitigate against it? Because it's like they're already rigging in those states already. They've gotten, they've paid 90,000 and above in some states. Enugu, workers are being threatened and all that. What is ADC doing as regards this to mitigate against it and stop it from spreading to other states? Thank you.
All right. Great question. Thank you, Priscilla. Kolade, my man, jump in.
My brother, I greet you. I greet everyone. Madam Aisha, as always, you never disappoint. Thank you so much. God bless you real good, madam. Okay. Yeah. So let me first ask you for this, please. Our party